Hello, everybody, and welcome to OpenExO Live. Really great to be with you this evening. Or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Of course, we have Carlos with us coming live from Mexico, and you can see some amazing folks coming up. Just a reminder, next week we'll be coming live on Wednesday, not on Thursday. And before we get Carlos up on screen, I did get a few community members to share a few words about Carlos. And the first one comes from Simon. He just says, I was lucky to meet up with Carlos last year in Mexico after we have known each other through the OpenExO platform for a while. I do not know if it is his love for German festivals, his sense of humor, or his innovative mindset to bring forward and follow through with innovative ideas, but you do not meet a person like Carlos every day. I am very lucky and happy to count him as a friend and looking forward to many more joint business projects and dinners to come. Then next we have Geronimo, said Carlos is a passionate OpenExO community member. In the more than 2 years since joining, he has always been very proactive, participating in many activities and always stimulating the interaction between members of the community. Carlos has a great perspective to add to the innovation discussion. He brings to the table his experience in technology and his Mexican flavor. Then we have from Pepe, thank you very much, Carlos, for your passion for abundance, purpose, and value through exponential technologies to positively impact our world. Your podcast, Rompehielos, I hope I said that right, has incredible value to show humanity without ego, sharing OpenExO community members' testimonials. Please continue rolling your ideas to rock our lives. Big hug. Then we have from Curtis, Carlos is a community gem, brilliant data mind with a big heart. For any project in LATAM, I want Carlos on the team. He knows the great Mexican music too. Then we have from Alex, I met Carlos during the EXO Sprint Coach Certification Program. And since the very first contact, I knew he was someone I could trust. Carlos not only has a deep technical knowledge and a good exponential mindset, but also proves his mettle at very difficult moments. He shows high social sensitivity, being a natural collaborator that generates excellent initiatives. His latest launch on YouTube is great. I would definitely pick him for my team. And then lastly, we have from Fabian, Carlos is a great consultant, digital solutions expert, innovation-driven entrepreneur, and I'm very lucky to call him my friend. We met during the consultant certification, and I'm very happy to see him grow and evolve constantly, developing new projects, a great podcast, and always looking for opportunities to apply the EXO model. You'll definitely have a blast and learn a lot listening to this guy, and as sharp and formal as he may look, he is also a true metalhead. Big hug, my friend, break a leg. So those are just some community members sharing. Carlos, welcome to OpenExO Live. How are you doing?
Hello, can you listen to me, Kev?
Yes. I can, yes.
Awesome. Oh, thank you to all of the guys that put beautiful words. I almost have a tear rolling down my eye.
Awesome. Well, Carlos, it's so great to have you on OpenExO Live. We always start out the show just by asking if you can give a bit of background about yourself. Tell those people who are listening into this conversation about you, about who you are, where you come from, what you're doing, and also how you came to join the OpenExO community.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I don't like to talk so much around me, but I have 20 years of experience in the IT fields. I have managed some security areas for some bank, insurance companies, and well, right now I'm an account manager. at a very big enterprise in all over Latin America. But it is kind of funny. It was around 2015 when I was the manager of an information security department that is from a huge insurance broker. You know this is insurance broker, Kevin. Um, and there was a team that was working at the same time at that company, which are disrupting the company, doing an exo sprint code, an exo sprint over there. And actually, many of the projects that arises from that effort, from that awesome people that were working over there, well, the company has arised a lot of their sales and the purpose and stuff like that. So uh, when I saw these guys working, its name was Jaroslav and Andrea Castelli, which were working over there. I say at those years I have to know more about that, so I start reading the Salim's book,
Mm.
Exponential Organizations, which I see the announcement of the new version of the book. I'm very happy about that. Um, and after some years, almost 5 years, I finally have the time to study with Fabian, and also with
Mm.
Jaroslav, and also with Andrea. So that is the way that I entered to this amazing community. So yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. And obviously, the EXO model has right at the top, the MTP. And so I also like to, to ask guests, can you tell us about your MTP and, and why it's so important for you?
Yeah, well, if after after defining my MTP in these kind of courses, I take a look inner myself, and I think that I'm passionate around nature and people. So by nature I mean specifically animals. So uh, my MTP is faring well for nature and people. So many of the efforts that I am doing by myself is how can I help to transform the world through these kind of areas which can benefit the animals specifically.
Mm.
And I started this kind of projects with dogs. So
Mm.
um, and the other thing is that all of that is support by I want to say my personal branding that is called designing ideas world building. So anything I do in my life right now has to have some purpose, and specifically a good purpose. I mean, it has to be ethical and has some moral around it.
Yeah. So I I I hear you start speaking about dogs, and we can hear the dogs.
I'm
Do you,
sorry.
how many dogs do you actually have, or do
The
you?
three
Okay,
dogs right
only
now.
three.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Sorry about that.
no worries at all. That's life right now. Obviously, defining that MTP, something that a lot of organizations out there, a lot of corporations don't necessarily have, um, and so is that one of the barriers? What would you actually say are some of the sort of barriers, to getting organizations to be more purpose sort of oriented, right, and
No,
purpose driven?
yeah, I remember so much what Salim says when he left Yahoo, that he has to be always working sometimes against the immune system and have the autonomy he
Yeah.
needs. So I really think that in the last 2 years, when I leave the courses of OpenExO, you finish those courses, that you are going to transform every people that you get in touch, like an evangelist or some Christian guy that wants to 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 take you to the church. And I found that it is not the way. Uh, and I have been trying to find the causes on why do many people do not want to change its mindset. And it is easy to convince the um your peers and some leaders, because what I have been looking is that many of the leaders, almost all their careers, are successful in the way the world is managed. The world tells you, since I was born, that money is the only thing that is important in this world. So all your key performance indicators are always oriented on how much money can you earn, and every year by year, many of us have targets and indicators that tells you that you have to sell more, increase your profit, increase your margins, and that's it. And it does not matter how, if you are impacting something or not. So why do a guy that has been educated all his life want to change if they have wellness? They have work day by day with some kind of formulas that, according to the system that we grow up all over the world, it is the way that you have to behave in all over the world. So the only thing that matters is money, but not the purpose. So that is what, and when I look into that, maybe maybe you are not going to be successful on changing the mindset, because you have a culture around it, and he's successful in that culture. The thing is that it is arising many people that is already rich, that can change that mindset and start doing some new ventures to complete another purpose. I think that they want this kind of rich guys that wants to change the world really is because they have to take an inner self analysis, and they do not want to pass in history as a guy that only get rich, and it is going to get forgettable. It is easy to forget them, because the only thing that they arises is money. But they want to give a lesson to humanity and start investing in this kind of new kind of ventures. So it is not bad, but you have to start thinking also in yourself that you have to work in yourself with purpose, even if your company do not do that. And you may be lucky to convince some kind of people and accept that many people won't change their mindset because they have as a purpose to get only the money. So fine by them, but you don't have to feel bad, and you do not have to close your arms and get depressed around it. You have to continue working. And that is what it is amazing about the OpenExO model, because you start finding people like you, and we are fighting back against a culture that arises from multiple generations. I mean, capitalism by itself is not immoral, or it's amoral, without moral. It does not have moral.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you see the leaders which arises this new kind of capitalism, like Ronald Reagan or Margaret Thatcher, they say that the free market will make us to by itself to get in a complete equal and regulated equal opportunities to everybody. The thing is that you cannot compete against that by yourself, because imagine this football team, Real Madrid, which is going to, with these 11 guys that are playing football with you, are trying to make you a goal, and you try to make them a goal. But you are playing alone like the goalkeeper. So, they are going to give you like 100 goals in less like 5 minutes. The thing is that you cannot compete in unequal opportunities around the world, because that's my idea. Everybody can disagree with me. But my idea is that you cannot compete with those monsters of football if you are a goalkeeper with the only thing that you can negotiate, that is your mind. But the thing is that we are living in the EXO in 10 in the decade of the EXO right now, in which you can find some community members that will be in your team. So yeah, you will compete Real Madrid versus 10 guys from your community. All right. They are going to continue making a lot of goals, but at least you will have someone that will be kicking the ball to the other side. And after a while, if your purpose is maybe your purpose is to do one goal. If your purpose is to do one goal to that elite team, maybe you will engage to other professionals that has more experience and complete that team. So I can be sure that this kind of team you are doing community and you are engaged and you are doing some engaged to people. So you are going to start working around it, and that is one of the two attributes that the EXO model has. The other one is the purpose that you have already built with this community, and you engage with this community. After the time, I think that is the more you will have access to democratized training. Maybe you will have access to some great coach, and you will have access to some stars that are not in the Real Madrid. But you can compete. And we are living in a privileged time right now because with technology, we are actually democratizing the access to many of the technologies that maybe 20 years ago you don't have access. We're talking a lot about the exponential capacity that has technology, that data-driven companies, algorithms, machine learning, disruptive technologies like artificial intelligence and stuff like that. So this is a great time that you as an entrepreneur or how can I mean, the base of the pyramid can start developing stuff for the first time to compete to the huge companies that are around the world. That's my thought right now.
Yeah, look, my thinking on that very much is that, look, there are definitely technologies that are making it easier for the little guy, I guess, in inverted commas, to actually get into the game. The other thing is that there definitely are some of the big corporates where they now have a handicap in that, maybe we're moving from a soccer field to the beach, and now suddenly Real Madrid is not going to play as well. So I definitely think that as the world shifts, some of the tactics that worked are not going to work, but we still have so many corporates where you're right, they're incentivized on short-term financial metrics, right? I can remember when I was in India, I was chatting at a workshop that I was running with a community member, Suman, and we were chatting to a CFO actually of an organization in India, and he was saying that he believes that the one thing that's really wrong is that especially CEOs are they should be incentivized once they've left a company. And he actually used the example, since you're speaking soccer here, he used the example of Alex Ferguson, right? He actually said if Alex Ferguson was a great leader, Manchester United would not have fallen off a cliff like they did. He said he was a good coach, but he wasn't a good leader. Now, I might blow up the internet by saying something like that. People will get very upset. But a good leader is someone who can let the team do really well when they're not there, right? And so I think, it's a double-edged sword around corporate. I definitely 100% agree that, you know, those that have money and power, it's a lot easier to keep that. Although I don't know, is that changing, you know, as the world changes, and maybe people start losing that.
Yeah. Also, the thing is that, well, you have money, but and let me talk not only about the richest guys in the world. Let me talk around people that are like directors in companies or even managers that, well, they have a nice house, they have nice resources, their kids goes to a nice school. When we pass away, what is the impact that you are having to us, to some people, or to the nature, or what do to your society? And if you only focus yourself on getting a monthly paid, finally, when you get 80 years old, your impact will be so short, and you make, maybe when you are dying, you will ask yourself, what do you live in this world? So that is a question that it's always hitting. I wake up every morning to ask myself if I'm doing some kind of good, or if I am always looking for a paycheck.
Yeah.
And that is, and when I get 80 years old, I really don't want to be remembered as a guy that passes away because and he earns every day his salary. The thing is that if you're a director, I think that your career is successful right now, but you have to keep in mind what are you sharing to the world before, because the life is so short, and life is not just drinking and having some planes, but all of us at some time of life, like in the Viktor Frankl book, that it says, what is your sense of life? Well, we have the purpose of the things you do every day. So what are you looking forward? And I really think that we have to quit in ourselves this human-centered mindset, that everything, that we are the center of the universe as a human, but we are a part of the nature and the world. And what are you giving back to this world? I don't and the people that do that is the one that is really remembered in the history of time, not just to be like the governor that used to be a tyrant, but a guy that at least tried to make this world better for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, Carlos. And I've just looked at the time, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how has the time really run away so quickly? You know,
great.
Ultimately, though, I mean, look, I actually had a conversation earlier today with someone that was very similar to this, right? Really around, you know, he's running a business, trying to allow people to, you know, to break through sort of glass ceilings, especially those that have had tough life situations, right? And, you know, speaking to him about Exponential and EXO and MTP and a lot of what we do, he was like, he did say, I mean, you guys need to tell more of the world about this, because like so many people are just going through life paycheck to paycheck because they just are surviving, right? So, you know, as we end off the call, I cannot believe it's gone so quickly. You know, what is it that you sort of want to share with folks that are watching? Like, what is it that you think is really important for people to think?
First, join OpenExO. You will find people that is oriented to purpose. Second, take the courses, because you are going to learn a lot with the people. And finally, I want to share something that I have here. It is one of my favorite quotes. It says, choose a life, choose a job, choose a career, choose a family, choose a TV, choose washing machines, cars, compact disc, and electric canteen openers. Choose yes, why, and wondering who the F you are on a Sunday morning. Choose sitting on a couch watching mind numbing, spirit crushing game shows, stuffing junk food into your mouth. Choose rotting away in the end of it all. Fishing your last in a miserable home, nothing more than embarrassment to the selfish. Whereas you expounded to replace yourself, choose future, choose life. But why would I want to do a thing like that? Irving Welsh from Transporting. I love that.
Absolutely, Carlos. It really is so true. I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to every individual to choose, right?
Yeah, and try to find your purpose. The OpenExO community will help you find out. And do not get disappointed if you cannot change people's minds. Everybody is independent on what they want to think. Just keep your purpose ahead and work through it. Have discipline and work every day with it. Doesn't matter what is your profession.
Absolutely. Carlos, it was great chatting to you.
Awesome,
it's
Kevin.
actually
Thanks
been quite a long time, I think, since we have actually spoken. So really great chatting to you. Look forward to chatting again. Have a fantastic 2022. And I know that we'll be chatting in the community for sure.
Thank you. Lot of health, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Really great chatting to Carlos. Thought-provoking. And, ultimately being purpose-driven is something that we really, drive here at OpenExO. So thanks so much for joining us. A reminder, next week we'll be live on Tuesday with Paula. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.